Hi, hello, welcome back to the channel, fellas. This is Strigan, and we are going to continue our series of prototyping powers for our game. And for this fourth power, in this installment, in this series, I'm gonna go big, a little big. So I need few things before I can actually get to the creation of our power. So to start off with, we are going to create a health bar. So this whole video is going to be how to create a health bar and how to assign it to our character, and how the damage affects the character, how much damage it takes. And I hope it helps create health bar in your own game. Since this is a simple one, I'm not going into a fancy route. So it's gonna be simple, easy, and a good starter for any beginner. So this will in turn help us achieve the power that I'm looking for. So to start off with, let's start building our health bar. Alright, we are inside of Unreal Engine and let's get started. So when we think of health bar or health in general in a game, there are two important characteristics. One is max health, and number two is current health, followed by the damage amount, the damage rate, how fast the health is going down or how slow it is, and so on. So let's start simple by going inside of a top-down character, and as I mentioned, the two important characteristics, max health and current health. Let's do that in a variable. So let's add max health variable. And we are going to assign float value to it. Let's also add another variable called current health, which is also going to be a float. Hit compile, go back to max health and set a default value of 100. And for the current health, we are going to set it to 100 as well, because when we start our game, we have full health, and as the game progresses, we are going to take damage and our health is going to go down. But when you do reset your game, it's going to go back to full health. To avoid that, we might have to do a save logic, which is going to be a little bit advanced, so I'm not going to do that in this video, but maybe it will come in the future one. And if you do want to see that, please comment below and I will upload a video for that too. So for this one, we are going to keep it simple and just do max and current health without any saving. So every time we restart the game, it's going to be full, and when we take damage, it's going to go down. So now that we have created our two values, we have to make sure that our player knows, or our character knows, that his max health is 100 and his starting health is also 100. So for that, we are going to bring in our current health inside of our character blueprint and attach it right next to even begin play. If you drop it right there, it's going to bring in a set current health node, and you can drop max health right in the input of current health, which would make it max health equals current health, which is the default value of 100. We are going to do a lot of stuff inside of our top-down character, but before that, let's just start off by creating a visual cue for our health bar. So let's go into our user interface this time, and we are going to bring in a widget blueprint. This is where we are going to build whatever we see in our screen around the character. Let's say health bar, map, or any other side menus and that your game would want to be showing in the HUD. So we are going to name this WBP health bar. Just simple. It's just simple. Hit enter and wait for it to create.
One eternity later.
Enter the health bar widget menu, and for this one we are going to add a canvas panel as our root layer, which is going to be our base layer or root layer, and then we are going to add a progress bar. Why do I select progress bar? Because our life is also like that, right? So when you take damage, the progress reduces, like the bar reduces in amount. So progress bar is like a very apt very apt way to portray that. So I'm going to add a progress bar and name it health bar just to be clutter free. And I'm going to also use the color green and set it to OK. If you want it to be pure green, just go in the RGB values and press 0, 1, 0 for RGB respectively. And that will make your health bar green. And if you don't see the green there, it's because the percentage here is 0. So you can change it to 1. Or when we do build our logic inside of our blueprint, widget blueprint, this will automatically change to green because our default value when we start is going to be 100. This is pretty much how you create the health bar, like a simple one, but you can also go fancy by adding background images or fill image later on if you fancy that. You can even add animations to your health bar. But for now, I'm just going to simply just resize it so that we can see it more clearly in our game. I'm going to just keep it pretty simple. 600 by 50, so it's nice and big, and we can test. When we test it out, it's easy for us to see the changes. So now that we have created our health bar, we are going to go back into our top-down character blueprint, and we are going to add a logic where our character takes damage. And you might be asking, okay, you created the blueprint widget, but how are we going to see it in our game, in the viewport? I will get back to that later, but before that, we are going to build our take damage logic, and I will get to the point where we are going to be adding that to our viewport, and that way we can see it in the game. So to build the damage logic, we are going to bring in a custom event. Add custom event, and we are going to name it take damage. And inside of this event, we are going to add an input. And we are going to name that damage amount. And we are going to be doing that with a float value. Okay, let's start building our damage logic. So what is this damage? How is this damage going to affect our health, right? So how does our bar go down? It goes down when we subtract our current health with the damage amount, let's say of a trap or a projectile, or even simply just getting banged in the wall. So for that, we are going to bring in our current health. You are going to get current health, and we are also going to attach a subtract operator, and we are going to connect the damage amount. So we are subtracting our damage amount from our current health so that our bar goes down in value whenever the character takes damage. And to make it more clean, we are going to add a node called clamp float. What this does is that it's going to keep the values between 0 and 100. So I say 100 because our max health is 100, and you can just bring our max health variable and attach it to the max input there. And our minimum value is going to be 0. So if it reaches 0 or below, our character is going to die. So we are also going to build that logic in. But before that, we are going to set this as our current health after taking damage. So I'm going to bring and drop our current health node here and bring in set current health and attach the main stream to that. And I'm going to attach the return value of the clamp float node to our current health. Now, when we take our damage, our character is going to take the damage and it's going to be reduced from our current health, which at start is going to be 100. And as we progress, when we take damage, it's going to reduce, so on and so on. Let's also continue building this damage to the point where we kill off our character. So once we have set our current health, let's add a branch node and attach our set to that. And we are going to set a condition. So for that, we are going to bring a node equal, which is going to give us a Boolean operation. And we are going to bring in current health and attach it to one of the inputs. And we are going to leave the second one at 0, because if our current health comes equal to 0 and the condition is met, and if it's true, destroy actor. And if the condition is true, our game will destroy the character and we are going to exit the game.